Hello everyone, it is Kate. Today I am talking about such a fun movie. That's not sarcastic, but I'm being serious. I watched Starstruck from 2010, so I was 4. And I'd never seen this movie before. Watched it, and I was surprised that I liked it so much. Without further ado, let's get into it. So our 3 main characters are Sarah, Jessica, and Christopher. So Sarah and Jessica are siblings. Sarah is super obsessed with the pop star whose name is Christopher Wilde, is the main love interest and the famous pop star. Very Justin Bieber core, but like not crazy. Sarah is like insanely obsessed with Christopher Wilde, and Jessica, her younger sister, is like, I don't care about that stuff. His music's stupid.
He is such an amazing person.
He's definitely not amazing.
He is amazing. And if you knew him, like I know him, you wouldn't say that.
Jessica and Sarah's parents are taking them to California, specifically Hollywood, because they're visiting her grandma. But then Sarah's super excited to go because Christopher Wilde lives in California, in Hollywood. I'm sorry, I have to specify because California is like 1 billion miles. And then Sarah's like super obsessed, like hyper obsessed, where like she knows where he likes to eat. He has a meeting every day. He goes surfing in Malibu at this specific beach, and it's like all these things, and it's like, what? I don't like that. I don't know, it's just like a strange thing having this like girl be like insanely obsessed and have her not the villain of the story. The villain of the story is like literally just someone who wants to hire him for a movie. Well, then again, it's also kind of his parents and also the industry and paparazzi. There are lots of villains in this story. And also his ex-girlfriend, kind of a villain. At the same time, Christopher Wilde is in trouble. All he did was be annoyed at like paparazzi being like, get out of my face, which I feel like any celebrity has done when the paparazzi is like this close. All he did was like, stop it, you guys, seriously stop, I don't like this game anymore, stop. That's what I say anytime I lose anything. But then he is like considered like a spoiled, entitled brat because they see this picture of him, when in reality I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, I don't think it matters. His parents are his like agents, like marketing agents sort of, so they're constantly wanting him to like book roles and stuff because he's a pop artist, right? So he's going on a world tour, but they also want him to get star in this movie. So they meet with the director of this movie. They don't really discuss what the movie is, which is fine. It's not really an important aspect, but the director is like, you gotta stay out of trouble because I saw in these tabloids, the tabloid being that he like was slightly rude to the paparazzi.
Is a spoiled punk who likes to tangle with the paparazzi.
And so he's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I really want this role. And his parents are like, we really want him to get this role. What can he do? And then the director's like, you have to show us that you're serious. Stay out of trouble. Like, you should just stay in until, like, I can convince the people who, like, running the movie, like, my other directors or, like, the people financing or something like that, to get you on the movie. And then he's like, okay, sick. And his parents are like, you're gonna just need to stay at home all night until all this washes over. Which, I don't think any paparazzi, I don't think any movie director cares if someone's been in, like, a slight scandal. Like, it's different if the actors, like, killed someone or, like, ran someone over with their car. But I don't think they care that you were slightly rude to the paparazzi. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are, like, thousands and thousands and thousands of like articles made daily about certain celebrities. I don't think they're gonna care about this one. It's like, oh, he's in the tabloids. It's like, no one reads that and no one takes it seriously. Well, people read it, but they don't take it seriously. Whenever Sarah and Jessica and their family get to California, Hollywood, California to be exact, Sarah knows where Christopher's gonna be, but her parents make her take Jessica with her because like they think Jessica's like more responsible, which she is. So Sarah takes them to like a party where they know that Christopher Wilde is going to be at, even though he's not supposed to be out because his parents told him not to. He snuck in the back and sang a song for his girlfriend's birthday party. See the cameras flashing in the party and it's time for action. Sarah sneaks into the party and is like, oh my gosh, Christopher Wilde. She doesn't end up talking to him yet, but she like sees him performing and she's like, hubba hubba. And then Jessica stays in the car because she's like, I don't want to go in. I'm not like other girls. I don't like parties. I don't like having fun. I don't like seeing celebrities. That's just stupid. I hate LA. I wish I could go back to my small little town in Michigan and read a book. I'm being so serious. That's probably the most annoying part about it, is just that she's such like a pick me YN through and through. Jessica gets out of the car because she's like, I am sick of waiting for my sister. It has been like a half hour. I am not waiting in the car. We are in California. It's probably hot. It's probably dangerous just at night on the strip of Hollywood. I don't know how streets work. She gets out of the car and she's like gonna walk to the exit of the building so she can like get in and try to find her sister. But right when she opens the door, Christopher Wilde opens it instead and hits her in the face and she falls. And he's like, sorry. And she's like,
For you or for me? Because right now feels a lot worse for me. I don't want to see your stupid concert.
so annoying. She realizes it's him, but she's like, I hate you. And then he's like, listen, I'm so sorry. You might have a concussion. I'm gonna take you and we're gonna take you to the hospital. So he like picks her up and like carries her to his car and puts her in. Like whenever she gets into the car, like whenever Christopher and Stubby, his best friend, get her into the car, she like rolls over in the car and like vomits all over Stubby, all over his shoes. It's so gross.
Okay. Oh, those are my favorite shoes.
And it's like, oh, she's concussed. Like she's a concussion, but she doesn't. Like apparently that was just random. But it was really gross, and I don't know why they added it, and I hated it. Just thought I should mention, because if I had to hear about it and see it, you do too. And like drives off to the hospital, leaving the friend he drove there with, who was his best friend, Stubby. He's like, dude, give me, like, you need to find her sister Sarah. She said that she was in there, and take her home. She's fine. But then he's like, crap, there's paparazzi in the hospital because they know my car. So then they take the doctor's car, who is Christopher's brother-in-law. They take his car. It's like a really old, shitty car. And Christopher's like, I'll take you home, but I need to make a stop first. So he goes to his house because his parents are having a party, and the director who told him not to get out that day is there. Christopher brings Jessica up to his, like, the guest room and is like, stay here. Stay here. While I go down and mingle, then I'll bring you back. And she's like, what on earth? Like, I'm definitely in the same boat as her on this, because she's like, this is like, what is your issue? Like, you did not have to take me to the doctor, and even then leave me at the doctor's, and I can get like a taxi home, or I can call my sister, or I can walk. Anything would be better than getting in the car with a stranger. Guys, even if it's a celebrity, don't get in the car with a random person, unless it's like your Uber. Then it's fine. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, he, like, basically dragged her to the car, made his friend help her get into the car, and then drove to the hospital, and then it's like, I'm not gonna take you home, we're heading to my home.
Just take me home.
I will! First, we need to make one teeny tiny little step.
Like, I listen to a lot of true crime, so, if this was me, I would jump out of the car. And also, I think, I would have, like, the gut feeling being like, this guy's gonna kill me. This is, like, a famous person, and they're killing me, and they, are allowed to get away with killing because they're famous. I wonder how many celebrities, like, have killed someone. But then she, like, steps outside to, like, the patio area above the party, where it's, like, the rich people stuff is crazy. So it's, like, patio on the second floor. What is that called? Balcony. Oh. There's a little balcony from where the guest room was, and she hears him sing a song, and she's like, dang, I kind of like this boy. But she doesn't say anything. I think that's what is happening, or she's just listening, I don't know. But then he comes up to her, and she's, like, annoyed. She's like, you can't just leave me, brah. Like, I don't want to, what the hell was that? Brah. She's like, you can't just leave me. This is, like, so unfair. You were being really mean, and I don't want to, like, and I literally hate you, and I hate your music, and you're stupid, and your house is dumb. It's quite funny. She, like, hates him about the entire thing, and even whenever they're getting closer, the next, like, scene, she's like, yeah, I never even liked you in the first place. So then they go to his garage, and he has, like, a ton of super nice cars. They're, like, old, like, hot rods, kind of. I don't know cars. All I know is gas pedal, brake, steering wheel, wheels, engine, music. And they, like, get in the car, and he, like, drives her home, but then he's like, crap, the paparazzi's here.
Oh, great.
He's like, can I park my car, like, in your garage, and then I'll leave tomorrow morning, but, like, I don't want them to see me, because, like, they haven't, like, quite noticed his car or whatever. They pulled the car into her garage, and then they, like, say, like, good night and everything like that. She gives him, like, a disguise. It's, like, an old fishing hat. And then he, like, left early in the morning, so he respected what she said, because she didn't want her parents to see that like a random guy was parked in their garage, which makes sense. But like also he's famous, but that doesn't help. Like if someone was like in my garage, I would call the cops. Like I mean, not if it was like a family member. If it was someone I didn't know, like that's kind of scary, especially like a whole car that's not yours. I actually don't know why the grandma's car wasn't parked in the garage, because the grandma has a car. We find out later the car's name is Petunia. We find out that Petunia is there but not in the garage, and it's like a one car, maybe it's a two car garage, but you don't see the car.
He's here somewhere.
We're going to Malibu, and we are going to go to the beach because my little boy friend Christopher is going to be there surfing, because like it's like a well-known spot that he surfs, and for some reason she knows he's going to be there that day. So they go. Sarah like goes off and sits on her own. Jessica walks up and sees Christopher, who is still wearing the little like fishing hat. She recognizes it as the one that she gave him, so she goes up to him and is like, "Hey," and then he's like, "How'd you know it was me?" And she was like, "The hat." But it's like, you can tell it's him. You can tell it's him. He would have people swarming. Once again, the paparazzi come. They swap cars, so they take the keys from Sarah without her noticing and put in Christopher's keys in his bag, and they quickly run off and get into Petunia, and then they drive away because he doesn't want the paparazzi to see him, because he's not supposed to be out or something. I think that's still the thing, and also he just doesn't want the paparazzi to see him because he's sick of it, I guess. So then they explore Los Angeles. Like they do all like the touristy stuff where they like take a ton of pictures and stuff. Go to, what's it called, the pier? What's the famous, I don't know, I've never been to LA, but like the boardwalk. And then they take a picture with the Hollywood sign. So she has a camera and she's like taking pictures on it and everything like that. But whenever it shows the pictures, it's the angle of the film. So it's not like, if I'm like, it would show that angle instead of this angle, right? It was just some goof that I realized that I thought was kind of funny. That they couldn't have just used a real camera to take pictures. They didn't think anyone was going to be discussing this movie at length. Sorry, I am. Oh yeah. After like their day is over, they are like going back to Malibu to switch their cars again, but then the paparazzi find them, so they drive off the road and they go on a super bumpy road, and then they get lost and they fight a little bit, but then he gets Jessica's grandma's car, Petunia, stuck in the mud. They get out of it, and turns out it's just like a giant puddle of like wet water. I don't know, it's like very weird. It's like deep enough to sink a car. They sink a car. They sink the fucking car. They sink Jessica's grandma's car, Petunia. How was there just a sinkhole in the middle of the road? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, this part was like so insane. I was like, what is going on? And they get out of the car, and her car immediately goes into the bottom. And then she like gets her bag out of the, because her bag is in the car, right? But she just like reaches her arm. She like lays on the side and then like digs through the water for a second and finds her bag. Like, girl, if the car is completely submerged, so you would not just be able to like reach in and grab it. Does that make sense? Like the physics was off, because the bag would not like float to the top, because one, it's in the car, and two, it's heavy. So then they go back to the beach and they almost kiss, but then the paparazzi sort of comes, and then he hides her quickly and is like, "We gotta pretend this never happened. I don't know you, blah, 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 blah." Like, and he's like, "We will never speak to each other ever again. No, but then let this never happen. Can you please do the same?" And she's like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" And then he's like, "This fame, it's not for you. I like you because you're a normal girl." It's like, shut up, you're such a loser. And then, he's like, "Can I have the camera?"
The pictures you took of us, I should probably keep them.
And at first I was like, oh, because he has the memories. And he's like, "I don't want you to leak the pictures to the press."
Wouldn't want the pictures to, get out.
And it's like just pictures of them hanging out all day. It was so funny to me, because it's like, I thought he was gonna do something semi-nice, but then he was like, "Yeah, because I don't trust you." It was funny, kind of funny. But then she's like, "I hate boys. This guy sucks. I knew he sucked from the beginning." And then she goes home, and then like their trip ends and they go back to Michigan. Christopher gets a meeting with what's his name? The movie director. And the movie director is like, "Hey, we know who Jessica is. The paparazzi was following you and got some pictures. You have to say that you don't know this girl and that she's like a crazy stalker and like she was just a fan or whatever." or you just can't do a movie.
Either this girl goes away or the movie does.
Which is crazy, because why does this matter? I feel like celebrities date non-celebrities all the time. And also, why does it matter in the first place? Like, at all. I don't know. Like, they made the big issue of the movie being like, she's not a celebrity and he is, and he can't talk to her because the paparazzi will go wild. And it's like, what are you saying? Like, no one cares at all. But then he does that, and paparazzi go to Jessica's house, which is in Michigan, because they got her address for some reason. They're outside her house, and they're like, this girl's a liar. She doesn't know Christopher. She was lying. He was just being nice to a fan and blah, 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 blah. So then while this is all happening, Sarah's talking to her and being like, so many people are like wanting to know who you are. There's a whole like page dedicated to you. And she's like, don't read these comments. They're really mean. And then she reads one off, and it's so funny.
Wow. You really shouldn't read any of these. That Jessica Olsen chick is a real nut, dude. She just wants to be famous. She should get a life because she...
And it was actually kind of like a sweet moment, because her sister was being so nice to her, being like, it doesn't matter what these people think, blah, 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 blah. But then again, I'm like, I don't like you. You're scary, and you're kind of a stalker. No, you are a stalker. Jessica finally comes out of her house and is like, you guys all are so mean. You're dehumanizing celebrities, and you made him a shell of who he was. I never even knew him. And she's like crying in front of all these news cameras. It's so funny. And I'm so sorry, but I was giggling slightly.
Who's Christopher Wilde, really?
Who is he? I don't know. The Christopher Wilde you're all so obsessed with, I promise you I never met him.
Like, Christopher's with his friend Stubby, and Stubby's like, why? Like, I thought you liked her for her honesty, and now she's lying for you? But I don't think it was lying. I think she genuinely meant, I didn't even know the real him, because the real him was buried a long time ago because of the paparazzi and fame and stuff, I guess. Whatever, that's just my interpretation of this amazing artistic movie. Sarah and Jessica go to the school dance, and then Christopher comes and sings a song.
There's some things I forgot to say to you back in California.
And then apologizes to Jessica. He's like, I'm really sorry. And then the paparazzi comes and shoves a microphone in his face, and he grabs it and he's like, I lied. I know Jessica.
I lied about knowing Jessica Olsen.
It's so funny. It is so funny. He like talks about how he really likes her, whatever. And then he's like, hey, how are we going on a date? And she's like, okay, per. As long as we don't have to wear disguises. Ha 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 ha. And then the movie ends. Like I said before, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a fun, silly movie. Definitely for kids, but I enjoyed. I just was so annoyed with like the pygmy energy coming from Jessica. They make the paparazzi seem like the biggest deal when I don't think it is. Like, obviously I think it would be really frustrating and an invasion of privacy to have people follow you around all the time. But like at the same time, I don't think it would like dictate what's happening. Like, that's kind of all I have. There's not many notes that I did. It was mainly just the plot. I didn't really have any ending thoughts. But yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and comment and subscribe. And if you don't do that, you are going to get your shoes puked on. So, okay. Bye, everyone.